Yo, this is Chris Spencer, and you're on BKS1 Radio.
It's your girl Chanel, BKS1 Radio, and I'm here with the beautiful Garcelle Bouvet.
I'm paying you later.
Hey, I'm the queen of comedy, some more, and right now you're rocking with BKS1 Radio.
BKS1 Radio Network. I'm here with the amazing Miss Tasha Smith. How you doing?
I'm doing so good. Thank you for coming out.
Yes.
I really appreciate it.
Hello, Denise Boutte. Hey, what's up? Shout out to BKS1 Radio. See you soon.
Brick City's finest, J.D. Williams. I'm in the Savage Podcast Studio, chilling at BKS1 Radio.
BKS1 Radio. I'm here with the legendary Mr. Dick Gregory. How you doing today, sir?
Fantastic, brother, and thank you.
This is Essence Atkins, and this is BKS1 Radio.
Jamie Foxx, BKS1 Radio. What's going on with you?
Storming on. This is George Dr. Funkenstein Clinton for BKS1 Radio. They be doing the dog, y'all.
Yo, this is Chris Spencer, and you're on BKS1.
Tuesday night, 9 o'clock, and you are now in the game. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's 9 o'clock. I am your host, O-Dog, in the house. To my right, she is
Coach V.
And to my left, he is
Short Fuse, aka the Ghost.
We took a break last week, but we are back to talk and debate sports with you. Coach V, how was your week? How was your week off, I should say?
It was good. Oh, guess what I did today?
What's that?
Hatchet throwing.
Oh, we're going to talk about that in a minute. Ghost, how was your week off?
I learned the skill.
All right, we're going to talk about that. Yes, we're going to talk about that. Because somebody suggested that to me, and I want to know how that was. We'll talk about that in a minute. Let's jump right into it, because we know people's time is valuable. We're a little bit behind schedule, but you know how we do. 9:15 was usually when we get off. Clark Kent keeps calling. Shout out to Chill, Mr. Keep It Real. He's out there on his Clark Kent doing whatever he's doing. Shout out to everybody at WBKS1. We got something for everybody here. But tonight, it is all sports. Tomorrow, live in the site for the Cornerstone franchise. They come on at 9 o'clock. You know, we got the Cavs Warriors. You got the NHL Finals. Cavs take a 3-1. You got record-setting performance by Steph Curry. You got a ho-hum performance by LeBron James. I mean, I say that in jest. Ho-hum, yeah, ho-hum. So let's jump right into it. Before we jump into it, this day in sports goes, in 1977, the Portland Trailblazers beat the Philadelphia 76ers for the NBA championship 4 games to 2.
It's amazing how they drug stuff out now, huh?
Huh?
It's amazing how far they drug stuff out now.
What do you mean? Oh, yeah. How many games they're going to extend it to? Yeah. Let's see. In 2001, with a home run in his 57th game, Barry Bonds becomes the fastest player to ever hit 30 home runs. That's 2001. In 2002, hitting his five.
He hit 30 home runs already?
In 57 games. In 2002, hitting his 587th home run, Barry Bonds passed Frank Robinson, becoming the 4th on the all-time career home run list. That was in 2002. And today's birthdays in sports, pretty famous people, folks. Very famous, historical. Tommy Smith, the American sprinter. Right there, Coach V. And he was born in 1944. And in 1945, former guest Dr. John Carlos was born. Nice. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
I didn't know they were born on the same day, a year apart.
Yeah.
And they both winded up on the podium in the 1968 Olympics.
Wow.
Coach V.
Legend.
Repping for the track stars, track athletes everywhere.
Yes. Put it up.
You weren't here when we had a chance to interview Dr. John Carlos, were you? Yeah, it was an amazing experience.
I can imagine.
I mean, just to interview and speak with one of the historical figures in the civil rights movement and a giant in the civil rights movement, and really made a difference. Now,
I have a T-shirt with him.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was very nice, very nice. Now let's jump into it. Obviously, we're gonna jump right into it. NBA Finals. We got special guests. You know, well, really they're not guests. They're sort of family members now. You got Gerard Hector coming up later. You got Jamal Murphy calling in later. They're gonna give us their expertise on the NBA Finals. But let's go back, Ghost. Let's go back because we were out last week.
Let's go back.
Let's go back to Game 1. Game 1, Ghost. Where everybody's talking about it, still talking about it, even after Game 2. The J.R. Smith move.
J.R. didn't know the score.
Everybody knows what happened. J.R. Smith, George Hill's on the line. He goes to shoot a free throw. He misses the second free throw. J.R. Smith somehow gets a rebound with 4.7 seconds on the clock and then dribbles out toward half court.
He had a brain fart. Happens to a lot of people. Happened to the guy in the NFL. What's the guy? The Vikings guy who took the fumble the wrong way and scored a touchdown for the other team. Scored a safety.
But Ghost, in the game 1 of the NBA Finals,
it happens. People have brain freezes.
Should it happen?
I don't know. If he knew better, it wouldn't happen. Should mistakes happen?
Well, certain mistakes are somewhat
He won't be the
forgivable.
first out there who forgot whether it was 2 outs or 3 outs, or
True.
who didn't know the score whether they were up. I mean,
True.
It's going to happen to somebody. It picked a terrible time to happen at, but all he had to do was make the free throw.
There you go.
Now that was my second question, Ghost, and like I always say, Ghost and I have been doing this show for what, 7-8 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you pretty much predict where I'm going. I was going to ask you how much blame. Let me throw this to Coach V. Coach V, how much blame do you give George Hill for missing the free throw?
I mean, I guess I can assign him just as much blame as I would J.R. Smith, because you're like an 80% free throw shooter. I mean,
81% to be exact.
Okay,
yep.
Thank you, Stat Tech. This is your job. This is what you're paid to do. Like they always say, you got one job.
One job.
One job. So I as much blame as I could give to J.R. Smith, I would give to George Hill. But again, that wasn't the one thing that cost them to lose. Obviously it's a combination of things that led up to the loss.
Absolutely.
Because at the end of the day, they still have 5 more minutes to go.
Now, I'm going to ask you this, though. When you saw, first of all, let's go back even the play before that. Because the play before that goes, LeBron James takes...
Oh, and also on that missed free throw,
yes,
he had a lane violation that they didn't call. So that free throw shouldn't have counted. He should have got the shot again.
Oh, really? I didn't hear that. Did the NBA come out with that later?
And said, they missed the lane violation by Draymond.
Are you serious?
So the shot shouldn't even count. It should have been another. He should have got another shot.
Now, that brings me to my point, Ghost, and I'm going to throw this back at you. I'm going to say, in the play before they got to the free throw, or maybe it was a couple plays before, LeBron James takes a charge. It was called a charge on the court. They go back in
the block charge.
They say we have to review
whether he was in the
restricted area. Right, the restricted area. Did you think he was in the restricted area?
No.
I didn't think so either. I thought it was quite obvious that he was not in the restricted area. I think what happened was you had 2 officials that looked at each other. One called the block, one called the charge.
No.
Go ahead.
I saw a video of an ex-NBA official who said if it's a disagreement between 2 officials on the court,
okay,
you don't go to the video replay to make a decision off there. You go to it's basically a jump ball between any 2 players that's on the court.
Really?
Dun dun dun.
No, NBA messed up a lot of calls on that in game 1.
Well, it looked like they used the restricted area, the ability to go into review the restricted area under 2 minutes.
Yes,
they used that to.
Yes.
As a pretext to get the call right. Because it was quite clear, folks, if you saw the game, and if you're watching this show, you probably saw the game, it was clear that he was not in the restricted area. And we all knew it. They go in and they change the call, Coach V.
And that's not what's supposed to happen. You're not supposed to go in to make... The fact that they use that, whether he was in the restricted zone or not, that was the trigger that said, okay, we can go to the replay. But that being able to do that is not for you so you can change a call.
It shouldn't be changing the call. That's the case.
That is for you to see whether he was or wasn't, and therefore,
Here you go, Coach V.
Go ahead.
Wait, hold on. Let me get it for you. Hold on. Ghost got to open the mic.
Because if they're going to do that, then they do it on other calls too.
Well, here's the thing. I don't like it because it's a bang-bang play. It's a subjective call.
Yes.
You make it in the moment. In the moment when he called it, I thought it was a charge. Mm-hmm. The moment after, when I saw the replay, I said they're probably going to call that a block. Because LeBron James kind of sliding over. But at a split second, you can't make that judgment. You made the call.
They're always moving.
Right. I think you should just leave it the way it is. If you want to go check for the restricted area, you check for that, but you should not be able to change the call.
Right.
The problem was you had 2 different officials calling.
And that's why I said it should have went to a jump ball. That's why one official, ex-official said it should have went to a jump ball.
Would that have been more fair?
Yes.
Because you had what potentially could have been the Cavs with the ball up, 2?
Yep.
And they would have been going down with LeBron James with the ball. They could have scored, went up at least 4, maybe 5. Now, we don't know. But it certainly changed the complexity of the game because now you got Kevin Durant shooting 2 free throws.
And he's making them.
I mean, yeah, exactly. And then you had George Hill. Now it's a different situation because now you got George Hill trying to.
He would. George Hill they would have been up.
Yes.
They wouldn't. It wouldn't have been time to.
Right.
It wouldn't have been like 2 to take the lead. It would have been up.
Right. So it's a lot of things. Now, Ghost,
and that was their chance.
That. We did.
They had to steal one in Golden State. I even think take it to 5.
Absolutely.
So now, I wouldn't be shocked if they get swept.
Really?
Yeah, it wouldn't shock me.
Now, Ghost,
Golden State's too deep. They're too talented.
The crazy thing is that, everybody's talking about J.R. Smith. They're talking about George Hill. They're talking about the block charge call, and we're missing what was a masterful performance by
LeBron James
is the greatest player on that court. I don't care how many All-Stars are out there.
LeBron James put up 51 points in game 1, 8 assists and 8 rebounds, and you saw the dejection on his face when he looked at JR and was like, what are you doing?
Because he knew. This is our chance.
And did you see the video that came out today?
Yeah, he said on the thing? Yeah.
When they found out that he had a timeout, when they showed that he... Now, that to me is also on LeBron James because you didn't know that there was that you had a timeout. Nobody called timeout. So that's on you. That's on the coaching too. But you as a star, I got to be fair.
No, I blame the coaching. Like I blame the coaching when Chris Webber took a time when they didn't have a timeout. When you have to let your people know this is what we have. If this happens, this is what you do.
Coach V, as a coach,
yes.
If you're coaching basketball, you come out of a huddle.
Yes.
What's your process? Do you remind players?
Yeah.
Of timeout, score, situation?
Yeah.
What? Tell me what you tell them before they leave the huddle.
Anytime it got into a close game, and I guess to me, it doesn't matter whether it's high school, college, but you always remind because it's a crazy time. Everything is going on. You got noise. You got people yelling. You got, instructions coming in. So, like, as an assistant, it was also my job. Like, the head coach always said to me, like, when we get down a certain time, you let me know how many timeouts we have, who's in foul trouble. Like, just give me a quick synopsis recap so I can let them know.
Okay.
And then the first thing is, like I said, if we're drawing up a play, we're like, look, this is the play, da-da-da-da. Now, we have one timeout.
Right.
Or we have one foul to give.
Okay.
Or we must foul this person. So you give those last minute instructions because no matter what, things are going in their head a million times. So it's kind of like you have all these fail safes where, of course, the head coach is supposed to know, and they probably do know. They'll probably be like, you don't have to tell me that, but it was still my job to say, okay, we got this.
It's just a belt and suspenders approach to coaching. You say, Coach, we got one time, I want foul to give, and we know we foul.
It's a lot going on.
Right.
Yeah, it's
like
a lot.
You just said.
Because you think about playing, making plays, what I'm supposed to do here. Mm-hmm. There's a lot going on. So you remind them, look, you got one timeout left.
Right. I think that's fair. I think that's fair that's not too much to ask of a coaching staff to say, hey, look, we got one timeout, guys. If anything happens, and going into that situation,
you got enough coaches there to say it.
Right, you got 8
tons.
You got enough there.
And plus, you got the ones in the back row.
Yeah,
You got enough there.
Second, what do you call them? Second seat assistants or something.
You got enough there when it happens. They can say, look, we got one timeout left. So
it's a failure on the Cavs organization, at the coaching staff, the players.
It still doesn't matter.
But Ghost,
if they'd have won game 1, it still wouldn't matter. They're still losing the series. Whether they lose it in 4 or losing in 5, they're losing.
But Ghost, do you not believe, or what? Let me ask you. Let me rephrase that. What do you think the feeling would have been if you're going back 1-1 to Cleveland?
No, you like, yeah, I did what I was supposed to do. I'm still in one game.
Right.
But I don't think it still makes a difference.
You don't think so?
No, because I think either they're going to lose in 4 or they're going to lose in 5.
I think that if they win game 1...
What happened last year?
What happened last year?
Didn't they still win in Golden State last year?
Yeah. But I think that if they won game 1 with the masterful performance of 51-8-8 on the back of LeBron James, I think that they go back into Cleveland feeling strong, saying we beat these guys on their home court to start the series off. We can beat them on our home court. And I still believe that they're going to win. I believe that they're going to win tomorrow night. Do you believe they're going to win tomorrow night?
They better.
Do you believe they're going to?
I think that's their best chance of winning the game.
Coach V, do you believe the Cavs can win tomorrow night?
I think they can.
Do you believe they will?
No, I do not.
Okay. Now, we'll get back to the game, but I got to talk about something else. Go ahead.
Golden State's just too deep, man. It's too much talent on that team for anybody.
They are beatable, though. Wouldn't you say that, Ghost?
Yeah.
If the stars align and the waves are right and all that stuff, yeah. Where you have multiple people have bad games, yes.
They were within one bucket of beating these cats.
And then you have that's your chance. But even if you beat them one game, you're not beating them. You're not beating them 4 out of 7.
Well, because if you beat them 1, you only have to beat them 3. You don't have to beat them 4. You beat them 1.
No, I'm talking about the whole series. You're not beating them. You got to beat them 4 out of 7 to win the series. You're not beating them 4 out of 7.
I don't know. I think that if you win that first game, you start feeling strong. Guys start feeling confident.
Yeah, then reality kicks in.
Because you talked about the overtime.
Yes.
Do you think that they really thought they had a chance in that overtime? I think when that overtime came around, they looked at each other like
no. They did not have a chance in overtime because it started from, and I applaud LeBron James because he has a lot to carry.
Seriously.
He does have a lot to carry, even though I don't particularly care for the way that people jump on the supporting cast. But if they played better, then it wouldn't be like that. However, you cannot go. I mean, like I said, the video, you had that moment like talking to the coach, like, well, didn't we have a timeout? And
yes,
like
it was a moment of dejection
right,
in LeBron James' face.
Of dejection, and if you are the leader, like you cannot, even if you feel that way, and you know how, like I talk about my brother Gregory.
Talk about him. We don't mind.
So they were playing in DCIAA championship. They were playing against Gonzaga. They were down by 21 at halftime.
Okay.
Now Gregory, he was one of the leaders on the team, but he wasn't the leader. But when they went into the halftime, he said to them, "We got them right where we want them." And I was like, "What?" He was like, "We got them right where we want them."
Right.
And then they came back out and they beat them.
Are you serious?
I kid you not. Gregory got the trophy MVP.
Good for Gregory.
But I was just like, every time how do you at that point, because there's no shot clock, it's a running clock.
Right.
The 3-point shot was there. I'm like, how do you say to somebody, yeah, we're down 21, but yeah, we got them right where we want them.
You got to believe.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to believe. Now, the thing about game 1, let me look at some of the numbers. I thought when they went into overtime, I was like, that's it. It's over. The game was over right there in regulation.
They had to win regulation.
Yeah, because you can't. I mean, and LeBron James looked completely exhausted.
He played almost every minute, didn't he?
I think he played all 48 with the exception of 34. So. No, wait, hold on. What are you looking at? That was game 2. Game 2, he played 44 minutes. Sorry, my apologies. I got a little bit of, I feel like I'm at Fenway. At Fenway, they got poles and stuff in the way. You got to, hold on, let me see. I'm looking up the game box score. Why can't I get game 1? They keep giving me game 2. I believe he played all 48 minutes, and I think he played more because obviously he played the overtime. So, I know. Yeah, I got it. Because I'm looking at Sunday, and I keep thinking the first game
played 48 minutes.
Yeah, he played 48 minutes. Do they have they include? So he really played like 53, right, Ghost?
I don't know if they included the overtime, but he played 40.
Oh, they're not including the overtime. Now, Kevin Love, he did his thing. 13 rebounds, 21 points in game 1. Mm-hmm. The problem is nobody else showed up. You only have one other guy in double figures. That's J.R. Smith. He scored 10 points.
And that's the problem.
That is the problem right
consistent, there. Yeah, the role players aren't consistent like they are in Golden State.
What should the Cavs do? Should they give Rodney Hood some time?
Don't
because Rodney Hood got he played 0 minutes. He scored 0 points. It showed.
Yeah,
he didn't get a DMP, but
don't matter.
Yeah, the Warriors shot 51% in game 1, 95% from the free throw line, 36 from the 35% from the 3-point line, 95% from the free throw line. Goes, how many games do you think the Cavs can win?
1.
Just 1?
Yeah.
Not even 2?
No.
You don't think Golden State gets a little lazy?
Nope.
Says we got this?
Nope.
What is it, 2-2, 1-1-1 series?
Yeah. I believe, yes.
So that means they would get back to Sacramento or Oakland and win it in Oakland, correct? Mm-hmm. Now, game 2.
Now, do I want Cleveland to win? Oh, yes.
Okay.
I'm rooting for them to win.
Okay.
But logically, I just don't see it because Golden State's just too consistent, and Cavs don't have, besides LeBron, they don't have many other consistent players.
Now, one thing we do have to, I want to talk about, and I'm a supporter of LeBron James.
LeBron James?
LeBron James.
LeBron James. LeBron James.
I am a big-time supporter.
LeBron James. I don't know how you could deny it anymore. The man's the greatest player in basketball right now.
Well, nobody can deny that. The question is only the Michael LeBron question. But I want to say something here. Did you see after the game in the press conference?
He got walked out.
The shorts?
Where he got up and walked out.
Yeah.
The shorts?
Coach V?
The shorts? I saw when he got walked out.
Let's talk about that outfit. Can we talk about that outfit?
He wasn't the first one to do it. Draymond did it at an award show.
I saw that.
Oh, so Draymond, okay, because I know Draymond did it after.
No, he did it last year sometime.
Okay.
But, Coach V, how do you feel about the shorts and the jacket and the boots and the socks?
Listen, I didn't like it when Dwayne Wade came in with the capris that one year.
Oh my gosh,
I wasn't feeling that. That just looked like one of those little British uniforms from like primary school.
Yeah, right. That's a good point. Now,
Buster Brown.
I just said, you tell me I got to wear a suit to the game, then okay.
You okay with those shorts?
Hey.
I'd like to see you in that suit, Ghost.
I'd wear it.
You would?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Because I don't like suits.
And you wear that short suit?
Just to be different, because I don't care about your suit. As a business up top, play down the bottom. It's like a mullet.
Yeah, I was going to say, party in the business up front, party in the back.
Yeah, see?
Oh, my gosh. You know what? Let me let you know. Hold on. I don't know if you saw this on Twitter, but the short suit cost $2,590.
His total outfit was like
I'm gonna get there. Don't throw it away. Don't give it away just yet. The suit cost $2,590. $2,590.
The suit, okay.
The shirt was $330.
Okay, I can wear the shirt. I can understand a little bit.
The backstrap shorts is what they call them for $940.
Hold on, the suit, but the shorts.
It was the jacket, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, okay, so it must have been the jacket. Okay.
And the socks goes $90 for socks.
Yeah, see it.
It depends
on name brand.
They might have been like some special
I don't
compression.
give a good God.
You know how good them socks must feel?
They better feel like the softest mother effing softest.
They probably do.
Like when I put those socks on, I better feel like I'm walking on clouds.
They probably do.
Like whoosh.
It ain't like them cheap socks you get at Walmart.
The boots were $1,290.
Yeah, I see that.
That's kind of
The sunglasses were $525.
That's it.
And this is where LeBron and I have something in common. You know, we on the headphone tip, he had Beats.
Yeah.
I'm a Bose guy, but they only cost $199.
Yeah,
that's about right.
However,
he ain't pay $199. So we got
there was this alligator bag.
Ah.
Yeah, that was the most expensive part of the outfit.
$41,000.
See, this is where you lose me.
$41,000. Now I know LeBron's a wealthy man. I know he probably doesn't have to work another day in his life, and he'll probably never run out of money.
His kids ain't going to work.
His kids don't have to work. Are you okay with spending $41,000 on a bag?
If I had that much money as LeBron James, yes.
Coach V, how about you?
It's alligator though.
Is that good?
No. That's what I'm saying. It's not good. Listen.
What does that mean? Is that good?
No, it's not good. Like
I'm not for the killing of the animals.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I'm not for the killing of animals. Even just for a bag. I really, and I'm not saying I have a little bit of an issue with it.
Right.
Although it's funny, I'm not against fur, but
That's interesting.
but all my furs are faux fur. So
okay.
But I do have something with that. But that is kind of like the going rate for that. But like they say, you spend money on. Everybody has a different way of how they spend their money, what they're interested in spending their money in. So clearly, that is what he's interested in spending money in.
If he makes $100 million a year.
He can definitely afford it. So
$46,000 is nothing.
Here's what I say.
How much does he make per game?
Maroon. What an ignoramus.
Listen, I have a rule that I operate under, and I'm trying to get it out to athletes because we've all heard stories of broke athletes going broke.
But LeBron can afford it though.
Can he? You presumably you can.
Yeah.
But we know the stories. 80% of athletes are broke 5 years after their playing career is over.
Yeah, he's not worried about that.
He's not worried.
He's not going to be broke.
I have a tendency to agree with you, but I'm just saying this is how.
But I guess you said people looking up to him.
That's exactly. See, now we getting there. Because we've been doing the show long enough to know. You know where I'm going.
Well, a fool and his money will always be separated. If you're stupid enough to try to do that and you're not in that financial position, then you lost your money.
I have a rule that I like to say. I call it the Warren Buffett rule.
He makes $405,000 a game.
if Warren Buffett doesn't do it,
then I shouldn't do it.
Then I probably shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because Warren Buffett is one of the richest men on the planet. And he ain't carrying around no $41,000 alligator bag.
I mean, you wouldn't know if he did because he wouldn't tell you.
I'm just saying. He lives in the same house. He lives pretty modest life by all reports. So I'm going to go with the reports. And look, to each their own. I'm not judging LeBron. I'm just saying I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I would definitely say
if I made $405,000 for one game, that's cheap. But I'm showing have been $46,000. Yeah,
I mean,
I might drive through the back door.
Let's go there. Let me ask you this:
you can treat yourself.
I was going to ask you that. See, good call. If you were making whatever a significant amount of money, LeBron.
But let's remember, they a lot of times they don't pay for these things.
That's probably
they're
true.
given because
people want to
somebody's going to mention it. And all of a sudden, it's going to drive business up for the company.
The rich get rich, as you say. The rich do get richer.
That is true. He's right.
What
on that
would
too.
be your splurge thing? Well, like you said, what would you treat yourself to? Let's say you get the big check. You know, not lottery money, but you got. Let's say you had an investment gone perfectly right. What would you spend? What would you buy, Coach V?
Well, I ain't gonna lie. I have a pair of Jimmy Choo shoes that were about $1,000. They were $1,000.
Okay.
I've only worn them once. But
wait, you only wore them once?
Yeah.
What the hell you buying for?
I'm still waiting for that big thing to do.
You waiting for that event? You better make that event happen.
But hold on. But here's the thing. But then there was a pair of another shoes I saw at Bloomingdale's. They were $1,200.
Okay.
But they got knocked down to $600.
That's a good deal.
And then they got knocked down again. So to about $3 something. So that I could see. But so I guess you say my big splurge would be
if you had
shoes.
Anything you could choose?
Yeah, I'm shoes. I'm a shoes person.
Ghost, what would you the one big thing that you would spend frivolously on?
I don't know. I don't have nothing that I really want until I see it.
Right.
I'm more of a spontaneous person. Like I don't say, "Oh, I want this," and I go get it.
Wouldn't you buy some kind of health thing? Because I know health is your thing. Would you buy like maybe some kind of like really expensive water?
I'd probably buy the water company and have my water.
Well, that would be your splurge.
No. See, that's an investment. That's an investment that's going to pay return.
I'm not really a materialistic person. I mean, I don't know. Nothing really impresses
Would you buy maybe some type of vintage album, rap album or something? No, okay.
You buy the Wu-Tang, the one copy?
No. No, I don't know. I might splurge. I don't know. It'll probably be some kind of clothes. That's probably because I'll probably buy more clothes than anything. And a Porsche.
A Porsche.
Would you buy like some kind of season tickets to go see Dallas to go and stay in? No, don't like them that much.
I think I would probably, if I could really, really buy it, there are probably two things that I would buy. I'd get a vacation. I'd either buy like a house in Tahiti.
Ooh, that'd be nice.
You know, one of those bungalows over the water.
That's nice.
I think I would buy something in a rich place like in Miami. What's that little millionaire island?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
And I would just annoy the hell out of my neighbors. Like I would just put the biggest sound system. I would put the biggest sound system in the world in my house.
Why?
Because I just want to be a dick sometimes.
Yeah, that's what that is. It's a real jerk move, Ghost. You do realize that,
I would wake up early tomorrow, have to, and just blast the most ignorant rap music.
But you know they're going to be ready to run you out of town, right?
Can't run me out. I got money.
There's a lot of people with a lot of money.
Well, I'll tie them up. We'll be fighting forever.
But why would you do that?
Just because I can.
Oh, my gosh. Ghost the contrarian.
I push the limits. What time required hours? Oh, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.? Okay. I set my alarm for 7:01.
I can't with you sometimes. just because you could,
just
right?
because I could.
I would go to Tahiti. I'd have me a luxury home. You know what? Forget Tahiti. I'd buy an island somewhere.
Yeah, because you can get a nice island. If
you know what I mean? Like
that much money.
Necker
if
Island.
you had Warren Buffett money, yes, you could buy yourself a nice
Necker
island.
like Richard Branson owns.
Oh, you know, like
Virgin Airlines.
Yeah, Virgin
you know
Airlines.
how like Ronaldo did? Where I forget he went. One of his friends got married. He gave them an island for a gift.
Wow. See, that's what I'm talking about.
That's that Ronaldo money.
Yeah, that's how you get
Hope
down.
his friends can keep up with the taxes.
Hey, listen. That's another thing. That's another thing. When somebody,
how else say you'll get somebody a gift? They got to pay the taxes.
So what?
When the taxes be a couple $1 million a year,
but
and they lose it.
Because that's the same thing. Like people when they talk about being on a game show and stuff like that. Like people don't say, "Oh, you won this." Yeah, you got to pay taxes on that stuff.
Yeah, you got to pay. You can't pay taxes. You ain't taking the gift.
What's that? Patrick Beverly's mom went on The Price is Right. Won like $41,000 and gifts and prizes.
He can afford the taxes on that for her.
Yeah, but I mean,
that's like somebody buy you a car and you got a car note for Christmas.
You know,
that's like I'm gonna buy my wife a car. Would you? I'm just giving her money out
you
of
ain't
my
really.
account.
If you buying somebody a car, and you're not really buying them a car if they got a car payment. You sort of helping them get a car.
Yeah.
And you're just putting really the down payment on it.
And if you're married, then you're still just paying for this forever.
See, like one of my boys back in the day, he did that. You know, he's the only person I ever knew who did that. He bought his wife a brand new Jeep Cherokee.
Now, if you paid it off, then it's really a gift.
Had it on there with a bow. He was paying the car note though.
Yes, you know.
That's what he wanted to do.
I mean, I know that's what people do, but it's the gift that keeps on giving.
The gift that keeps on giving. Yeah, so I think that outfit is ridiculous. I mean, the shorts, I can't rock shorts and a jacket. That's the problem with me. I could rock shorts and a button down. I could maybe put a tie on with some shorts, but I can't rock shorts and a sport coat. I just don't know that looks. And I rock shorts more than anybody that I know. I can rock shorts down to about 40 degrees.
Yeah, we was talking about you, but it's
what?
Me and Goody. Cause I went outside one day. It was cold.
Right.
I had on shorts, and I was like, "You don't wear shorts. It'd be freezing outside."
You know what somebody told me, and I never really thought about this. You know, everybody who's watched the show, I'm a runner. I've run 9 marathons. I've run probably 25 half marathons.
Now you bragging.
No, I'm not bragging. I'm just stating I run.
I don't want to brag.
I'm not bragging. If it sounds like bragging,
9 marathons.
No, I should
26.1 miles.
No, 26.2. Get it straight.
See what I'm saying? Bragging.
That ain't bragging. That's just facts. No. And somebody said to me, because I was wearing shorts to work one day, it was like 54 degrees, right?
That's not bad.
And see, but that's what most people say. Like, and the woman said to me, she goes, "Are you a runner?" I said, "Yeah, why?" She goes, "That's why you can wear shorts in the cold." I said, "What?" I said, "Oh." She said, "Because your legs are used to it," which is true because I did a lot of running in the cold. You run a lot of marathons in the cold, and most of the time I'm wearing shorts unless it's really, really cold. So my legs are just, they don't get cold.
Yeah, cool.
I never really thought about that. So that's why I can wear shorts to a lower temperature than most people. I don't take off my shorts till like November.
I take off my shorts the minute it hits below 70.
Oh, you crazy, man. That's not even a good start. I could wear, like I said, I can go down to about 40 degrees before I have to take my shorts off.
Yeah.
And it's got to be a wind whipping.
No, if it's 65, I got a hoodie on.
Like, I'm that dude that people look at and be like, I was on a train once. I heard these women, they were like, now it is not that hot out here. And I had on shorts. I was on the train. I was like, my legs don't get cold. I'm sorry. Now I had a jacket and a sweater, a little zip-up sweater. But I was cool.
Yeah, it's still weird, so.
Anyway. Ghost, I want to talk to you about Steph Curry.
Mm-hmm.
Give me your thoughts on Steph Curry as it relates to the first 2 games.
It's typical Steph Curry.
You think so?
Yeah.
Does
him making 9 3-pointers shock you?
No. But you know what the problem I have with Steph Curry? What's with the tough guy act?
Oh, he's a tough guy when they're winning.
What's with the tough guy act?
He's not. I mean,
he ain't tough.
It's like all of Golden State.
He has crossed him and Kevin Durant.
No, they're tough when they win.
I'm sick of them.
Yeah.
Durant, I don't like anymore. Draymond, I understand what he's doing. I understand his job.
That's his personality. That's what he's supposed to do.
But he's real with it.
He's got to be the muscle guy.
He's real with it.
He's the same way all the way across.
That's who he's always been.
Yes.
So I'm cool with that. But Steph Curry step into what's mean face dude? I can't even think of his name. On the Cavs.
Mean face.
Kendrick Perkins.
Perkins, yeah, I was about to say.
Now you saw, I don't know if you saw the game, but there was a time Steph Curry shoots one of his 3-pointers. He kind of fades back toward the Cavs bench. Kendrick Perkins is sitting there. He's got his legs sort of extended, but he's a 6'10 dude. And I guess Steph Curry took exception to the way that Kendrick Perkins was sitting. He didn't pull his legs back
Was
in.
his feet on the court?
No.
So then what's his right?
His feet were not on the court.
Okay, then Steph Curry didn't stop fading back.
Now,
it ain't his fault you got fragile ankles.
He stepped to Kendrick Perkins.
Yeah.
He was up in his grill, man.
Yeah.
And see, that's what I'm saying. It's like, okay.
He lucky Kendrick want to stay in the league.
Like, what are you doing? Like,
because he can do that because he knows he's basically untouchable.
There you go. And everybody knows the rule in the NBA.
You're not messing with the stars.
Nobody's throwing punches because if you throw a punch, you get automatic suspension, and nobody wants that. But I think Kendrick should have popped
If you
him.
two of my favorite players, you're going to throw a punch or choke them.
Wait, say it again?
Sprewell or Meta World Peace.
Oh, my God.
Let him do that to Sprewell. You think he will, or Meta or Ron Artest, you think they wouldn't have threw a punch?
Oh, I think Artest would have definitely pushed him. I don't know if he would have punched him, but I know he would have pushed him.
Steven Jackson would have too.
Steven Jackson might have hooked off on him.
Boogie probably would have.
Boogie's another one.
My favorite players, man. I love them.
You like some wild dudes, bro.
If I had a team, I'd have them all on my team.
You know what?
I'd have Steven Jackson just because you ran up in the crowd to defend your homeboy, and everybody else stood there. You went there and was like, look, it ain't gonna go down by itself. You got to respect that.
I do respect that. I'm not gonna lie. I respect that you looking out for your teammate.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you're supposed to do. That's what they teach you in all team sports. But I'm just sick of. Would you characterize, Coach V? I'm gonna go to you because you're a process team person.
Yes.
Would you characterize Steph Curry as cocky or confident?
Cocky.
You going with the cocky?
Yeah, I would. I definitely. Yeah.
When did he cross over from confident to cocky?
When he became MVP.
Really?
Yeah.
That long ago?
Yeah. Ever since then, he has been. Because then, I mean, and probably people will say, well, he's always been this way,
right.
You know, and probably he has been, he has been. But I think after he got the MVP, it just magnified what was probably already there. And you know what? I don't fault him for it per se because he's worked really hard to get to this position. I just always caution that there is a fine line because just as soon as you get up there, trust me, while you up there climbing, you feet here, you got people, pulling, looking, reaching. So you just want to make sure that, you always remain humble to a degree so that when the fall does come, it won't be hard. You won't hit hard.
Ghost, you feel like Steph Curry's crossed over into the cocky area?
Yeah.
When did it happen for you?
No, I agree with it when he won the MVP, and then they got their championships, and now they've been on this team's been on this streak, and he's the golden child of the team, and in the league and everywhere else, and him and his wife have relationship goals. Everybody's like, his whole life is walking on a cloud.
They're
right
the
now.
First family of the NBA. Since when we start getting first families?
Well, I mean, I guess since Peyton Manning
but
Manning.
But you're gonna get cocky one day, and you're gonna go up against a player who has nothing to lose, and they're gonna end up doing some little slick stuff like putting their feet underneath your leg when you do a jump shot, or they're gonna tap you a little bit while you're doing a jump shot. Not to be too dirty, but it's gonna you can end up getting hurt because somebody's gonna take it the wrong way. Not saying that's the right way, but you're gonna have somebody there's some players in there who aren't mentally stable.
Yeah,
there's some people in there who just don't care, who's gonna do something just because
It's like back in the old West, when you were considered the fastest gun in the West, that was a hard target. That was a hard mantle to carry because everybody wanted to try to make a reputation off you. I forget what movie it was. It said, boy, you ain't going to make your reputation off me. And it was some Western movie. But yeah, that's what really everybody, they gunning for you. And somebody wants to be the one that's going to take you down. And when I say take you down, I'm being figuratively. Don't everybody think I'm talking about.
No, we're not talking about physical violence,
just
but
figuratively. So you just always want to make sure, realize nothing lasts forever. The time will come, and when it does come, just be gracious about it.
Shout out to Drunk Falcon joining us down in the ATL. I just don't like. In the beginning, I didn't mind all the shimmying. He was
right
with the shoulders. It was fun. But now
his own dance. Mark Jackson had that first.
That's true. Mark Jackson. Well, they say everything that's old is new again, right?
That's true. Ain't nothing new.
So there's nothing original. Coach V, I'll jump to you.
Thank you.
What's your major takeaway from Game 2 on Sunday?
Well, my major takeaway is every time the Cavaliers made a run, every time they tried to push through,
Golden State
had an answer. And it's because I understand that the Cavaliers was one of the best shooting 3-point shooting teams during the regular season. However, I still say that the way they get their 3-point shots within their offense is so much harder than how Golden State does it. And while even when Like Curry wasn't like going off like that in the beginning, but even while Cavaliers weren't making their shots, Curry wasn't making their shot, but you still had Durant hitting those twos.
Right.
And listen, if you not threes are great, but if you're not hitting them, and they keep making them twos, oh yeah, that's gonna benefit the other team. That's why I just don't like that teams want to get away from the two mid-range.
Good.
Oh, thank you.
Ghost, what's your major takeaway from game 2?
Back to normal.
Back to normal?
Yeah, nothing I didn't expect.
All right.
I think the Warriors get a little sloppy sometimes. You know what the Warriors remind me of?
They do get sloppy.
They remind me of the greatest show on turf. When Mike Martz was the head coach of the Rams. Remember he said, "Oh, we don't worry about turnovers. We're just going to basically outscore the other team." And then they catch up with you because you're going to go up against this team, you're going to make turnovers, and they're going to score, and they're going to put you behind. Golden State at points, I think they get sloppy because they feel, well, we can turn the ball over 20 times. It don't matter because we can always shoot our way out of a problem. And then they wise up a little bit. Then they get a little. Once they get serious and they protect the ball more, you're not beating them. You gotta basically say they're going to be sloppy the whole game for you to win, and they don't do that for a whole game. They might get you for 2 quarters. You might go up 25. Third quarter, they can outscore you by 30.
Preach.
If they want.
Preach.
I mean, and they got outscored by 30. That's as if Klay Thompson start hitting shots.
Klay Thompson's my favorite on the Warriors.
Yeah, he's been
silent assassin.
He's been my favorite.
He's a cutie.
He just comes down, shoots his shots. He don't get involved in the fanfare. He does his job. He's the best defender on that team, I think. And he just does his thing. I mean, what was the box score on that? Give me the scores on that, Ghost. I know Durant had...
Which one, last game?
Yeah, I can't remember who scored the most. I think Durant had 29 and... No, Curry had 29. Durant had like 24, I believe.
Hold on one second. We're at third box score. We had...
Let's see.
Durant had 26. Curry had 33. Thompson had 20. 8 of 13 shooting.
3 of 8 from the three-point line. Curry was on fire. 9 of 17. Obviously,
it's a lot of three-pointers to take.
You know, I think we really buried the lead, though.
And what was the lead?
The lead is, we got to talk about the real star of the game. JaVale mother effing McGee.
6'4",
18 minutes, and he was perfect from the field. You know, people rag on JaVale McGee. You know, on the TNT broadcast, they had Shaq and a Fool, and he was always on there.
Hey, he put himself in that position.
JaVale McGee used to catch a lot of hell from the Washington
Wizards. Didn't he run the wrong way?
He ran the wrong way. He's sort of a tall and gangly guy. You know, he kind of, he looks awkward in his body sometimes. But JaVale McGee came out there and went 6 for 6, scored 12 points, did his job. And I wanted to give him a shout out as a starter. In 18 minutes of basketball, he had 12 points, 2 rebounds, 1 block, and he had 4 fouls. That's what he's supposed to do. I think that's awesome. I think it showed a lot of confidence from Steve Kerr to go out there and put McGee in there.
It doesn't matter. He can go out there and start P. McCraw if he wants because he knows we're going to win.
Let me ask you this, Ghost. If it was you, Curry, Durant, Klay Thompson, and Draymond, would y'all beat the Cavs right now?
Yeah, instead of beating them by what they beat them by 19? They probably beat them by 15.
How many would you score?
1.
How would you score on a foul?
1 or 2 from the free throw line. That's all I need.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Would you shoot from the field?
Yeah, but I ain't gonna front like I'm gonna shoot over anybody. I'm gonna get I'm gonna get a foul.
I'm gonna drive to the hoop and get fouled.
Yeah, I'm getting fouled.
And make 1 or 2.
Yeah. Because I ain't gonna who I'm shooting over.
Coach V, you and the 4 I mentioned, Draymond, Klay Thompson, how many are you gonna score?
I ain't scoring. I'm just passing and rebounding.
All right, now hold on. Let's put it to you this way. Let me put it to you this way. Let's change it up.
Okay.
We're going to throw Gregory in there instead of JaVale McGee. It's going to be Greg, Draymond Green, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, and Klay Thompson. How many points is Gregory scoring?
Oh, Gregory, he going to be eating that up. Greg going to be trying to hit 35. He's just going to be he's gonna be sitting here like this.
Now, wait a minute. Wait a minute. You think Coach gonna call a timeout?
They ain't gonna pass the ball to him at all.
Yeah, exactly. Timeout, Gregory. What the hell are you doing?
Because Gregory, Gregory loves to pass, because he is pass first issue. But shoot, when Gregory get hot, oh, you ain't taking Greggy's like right here.
Yo, Clay.
You're like, he gonna be like Kobe.
Curry gonna look at him like. Durant gonna be like, yo, what's going on?
They gonna be running down the court. Gregory gonna be looking at Steph like, yo, I was open, man. Durant gonna be like, I'm 6'10".
No,
and I had Jordan Clarkson on me. What are you talking about, Greg?
No, Gregory, he prides himself on his footwork in the post, so he gonna be like, yo, I'm open down here, right here.
Oh my gosh. Now I'm gonna say if I was on that squad, I would score probably. I'm gonna try to get 4. I'm trying to get 4 points. I'm gonna try to get a bucket and 2 free throws. But outside of that I'm looking to pass. I'm just gonna give everybody the ball. I was a natural point guard when I played basketball. Right. I didn't play at any high level, just a lot of street ball. But my position was point guard, and I actually enjoy getting players the ball in positions where they can score. Now I'm gonna have 12 to 15 assists.
Put it this way. I'm only getting 1 point. I'm going to do it the foul one time, but I'm shooting the rock. If in that motion offense, if the ball ever touch my hands, it ain't leaving my hands. They better don't pass it that direction.
That's what I'm saying. It's the perfect offense.
I got my 15 minutes of fame. I'm taking every minute of it.
I'm telling you.
And I'm gonna do the Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan on 3-pointers.
Yeah, like
Durant nigga look at me like, why are you shooting so much?
Yo, speaking of Michael Jordan, the day that Curry broke that record, that was the same anniversary of Michael Jordan with his 6 threes and he was just like,
that game. That was the same anniversary. Wow, that's crazy. All right, folks, we got to take a quick break. Keep it locked here. WBKS1. We got more to talk about. We got our guests coming up in the next 20 minutes. The great Jamal Murphy, the great Gerard Hector coming up. We're going to talk a little bit about the Stanley Cup, and we're going to talk a little tennis. Oh, yeah, and there's still some NFL talk. Keep it locked. WBKS1.com. And we're back, WBKS1.com. I'm Old Dog, the host. To my right, she is
Coach V.
To my left, he is
Short Fuse,
a.k.a. the Ghost, the Great Debater in the building. All right, we covered a little NBA, and we'll jump right back on that in about 20 minutes when we have our esteemed guests, Gerard Hector and Jamal Murphy, calling in the Blackatologist. They co-host the Bros Pod, and I was fortunate enough to do another Bros Pod. So if you get a chance, check out the Bros Pod. It's a very good show with the great Hall of Fame legend, columnist of the New York Times, author of $40 Million Slave, the great Bill Rhoden, who's kind enough to let me continue to sit in, and I do appreciate that. So shout out to Bill and the great Jamal Murphy, who I work with, and he's kind enough to ask me to sit in, and Gerard Hector. Oh, my gosh, coming in after break. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Now we got to change things up.
Is it a chill sighting?
Hold on.
Is it a chill sighting?
Put this mic up for me.
Oh, I hear the voice.
All right, now hold on. Folks, the show's going to change a little bit, but we got the guests. Come on in. Yeah, jump right here, Chill. Jump in the captain's chair. Just watch your step.
We doing well. How are you?
You must have heard. We must have talked you up.
Man.
What's going on, Chill? Hold on. Let's give Chill his proper intro.
I'm going to start calling you the Jungle Master.
The Jungle Master? Why is that?
That snake.
What snake? Oh, you saw that? Check out my Instagram, man. Let me tell you something.
Yeah, explain. Let's explain that.
Thank you, Chill, for that.
I'll jump in the way.
Yeah, no, you know what? I was at work, and I went to take a walk to grab something to eat. I walked around, and there's a guy standing there with a albino Burmese python.
Beautiful snake.
If you like snakes, now I am terrified of snakes.
Yeah, look on your face showed it.
Come on, Ghost. I tried to hide it. Damn.
But why would you? Okay,
You ain't
give
hide
me your
it at
mindset.
all.
I didn't hide it at all?
No.
Give me your mindset. He's trying to smile, but you can tell his eyes
You
is
look
like
shook.
looking down at
Do
the
I?
snake.
Yeah.
He's like,
Let me tell you something. Here's what I said to myself.
Self?
I had literally walked away from the guy. He was like, let people hold it for $10. I had walked to the corner, and I said to myself, Self, you got to get over your fears. Because what are you going to tell your son? You got to be able to show your son.
oh my God.
You got to overcome your fears.
Show him a different way.
So
Son,
I said, screw
Dad
it.
died at the hands of a Burmese python.
You know, I said, screw it. I'm gonna go try. I said, yo, my man, you know, the dude was super nice, very polite. I said, can I hold a snake? He's like, yeah, you mind making a donation? I said, nah, here's $10.
Oh, that's the new way of saying it now.
Yeah, you mind making a donation? Yeah.
I like that.
And
I like
I
that.
held the snake. I tried to play it off. Ghost, apparently
How
I
did
didn't
it
do such
feel?
a good job.
Was it
It did. You know what it felt like? It didn't. It wasn't wet. It wasn't slimy. It felt like
A muscle.
like a bag, like a woman's purse.
Like a muscle
Heavy,
bag.
It was heavy. It probably
Muscly.
was about 40 pounds, you know,
Makes
on your
sense.
shoulders. And you sort of, like he tells you got to hold the head. So you got to move your hand under the head. But the snake, it's a live animal and it's moving. And things started going through my junk. And I'm like, no. He was like, nah, don't worry about it. He lifted the snake up. And then, you know, he took all the pictures. He's like, don't worry, I'll take a bunch of pictures. But I wasn't necessarily scared. I won't say I was 100% comfortable.
Yeah, you look shook.
I wasn't comfortable, but I wasn't scared. But thanks for bringing that up, Chill.
I thought that was hilarious.
All right, we're going to jump into a little bit of Stanley
Wherever
Cup
y'all
finals.
at. Wherever y'all at.
Yeah, we're jumping in.
I'm
We're going to get back to basketball. We got a couple of guests calling in. Well, a couple of family members, really, by now. Ghost, talk to me about the Stanley Cup Finals. Washington Capitals take a 3-1 commanding lead. They're one game away over the upstart Las Vegas Golden Knights.
I was rooting for
They're
Vegas.
not that much of an upstart.
But it was the first
It's
year.
a first year
Yeah,
franchise.
but,
They-
but it's not like it's first
Well,
year
that's right.
players.
It's not rookie players.
So that's what I'm saying. That's what
Okay,
I mean.
that's fair.
That's my
They're
but
new
it's
in
their
name,
first
but
year
that's
of
it.
all of them playing together.
As an organization, yes.
Yeah, I mean, and you still got to get to know the players and all that and everything.
How ironic they're in Vegas and they make the finals. I'm just saying.
But did you
see conspiracies have started
Conspiracies
already?
always
This
go-
is why
I'm just joking. I'm joking.
we can't
No, but you know
have
what?
The Raiders will be in the
weddings.
Super
Don't
Bowl
get the
next
puck
year.
in the net though.
They could not get the puck in the net. Wide open net. What was the guy's name? Bell, I want to say.
I think that's the guy.
Totally missed a wide open shot. And what they call that, Ghost? Puck luck.
But no, it's they were 500 to 1 odds, so Vegas didn't want them to win because there's probably a bunch of people in Vegas. 500
took
to
that
1.
bet.
Oh man, I could put $100 down on
Absolutely.
this. You know how much
Wow.
money they're
Why
gonna
wouldn't
lose
you?
if Vegas actually wins?
Why wouldn't you?
And let me say something very quickly too. Ovechkin, who to me prior to this year, the James Harden of hockey, I'm happy for him because for so many
Don't
years,
be happy yet. They have not won.
Well, you're right. because I think they were beating Pittsburgh a couple of years ago,
Yes,
3-1.
they've blown 3-1 leads in the past.
And in hockey,
Pittsburgh's
that
a
is
whole different
definitely
team.
possible. But I'm rooting hard for Ovechkin because I think he is one of the underrated superstars, if there's such a term.
Sure.
He is tremendous. Arguably, I would say he's regular season just as good as Crosby.
That's tough.
No, if you look at the stats,
Well, he's just as good, but he's not
just
as well
good.
as he doesn't have as many Stanley. He doesn't
But
have any
let's be
Stanley
fair,
Cups.
he doesn't. But Crosby has been around great teams.
Yes, Crosby had a whole lot better players.
Come on,
around.
man. Who does Ovechkin have? You can't name two of the other guys. You think about Pittsburgh; they always had three great guys and good goaltending. You can catch anybody can catch fire. We know that
Absolutely.
But I just think Ovechkin is one of those guys, man. That true superstar, one of the superstars of the league, and this is his first time getting a cup. I mean, I'm rooting hard for him. I'm really rooting for him.
I mean, the people of Washington, they're prime. But one thing I wanted to talk about: how does? And I know the more important stuff is the Stanley Cup. But have you seen the Vegas openings, Chill? When the game starts,
Tremendous. And I think it's brilliant.
I think so too.
You can't beat it. It's basically
it's a show.
It's medieval times.
Yes, it's medieval times
on
yes.
ice.
On ice.
It's
Absolutely.
brilliant. It's brilliant.
It
I
goes
love
along
it.
with the Golden Knights.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love
they
it.
play that whole thing
I
up.
love it.
They play it up where they have the, light shows and fires
Right.
and drums, and I thought it's brilliant. But I bring that up to say that the Washington Capitals, they spun the wheel and bought a vowel, and they had Pat Sajak introduce the teams.
Oh no! Why?
Listen,
Pat Sajak.
Listen, let's be
How
fair.
do you follow that show? And Chill, you know what I'm talking about with Pat Sajak.
Let's be fair. There's a lot of elements with the Golden Knights. Number one, you're in Vegas. Vegas is about shows.
It's about show, absolutely.
And everything. So you have to have that. DC is more traditional, and hockey is more traditional. Now listen,
They should have Wayne Newton.
No, hold on. Where
Ain't he
with
been-
Vegas?
You mean in Vegas?
Hasn't he been
Dunk
like
a shame.
Hasn't he been like doing shows in
Yeah,
Vegas
or
like the
David
last 40
Copperfield.
years?
Maybe
You're right.
David Copperfield can come out
But
and
you
do
know,
some magic.
what? Let me ask you this: who would you have suggested Washington pick up to introduce or to bring some fanfare?
Wale.
Who?
Wale.
Who's Wale?
Oh, he's a rapper from DC.
Yeah.
Okay, Coach V, who would you have suggested?
Now, they really want to get the people. They need to have like Red Essence, or they should have played some. Well, Chuck Brown dead right now, so they're gonna. But get some Red Essence. Bring that go-go beat in there. That would have get
That's
the
a good
crowd
point.
hype. That would have get the crowd hype. Or
Chill.
I'm just saying, this
sorry.
should be a
Jeez.
little bit more, a little bit more mainstream. I would say get the dude that always did the boxing matches.
Oh no, they had him in Vegas. Good call though, Michael Buffer.
You know, never mind then.
Who would you have, Chill?
If I'm DC,
Yes, tell me who you have.
a team come out. Not
Hey.
on full team. I have the Hogs come out.
There you go. See, that's
From
what you gotta
Washington.
have. You gotta have
Get
the
the
Hog,
Hogs.
Joe
Yeah.
Jacoby.
That's right.
You gotta have John
Get the
Riggins.
Hogs.
Yeah.
You gotta have Joe Gibbs.
Let them
you gotta
walk
have
out.
Joe
There you
Theismann.
go.
That's who you bring.
Get the Super Bowl champion Redskins out.
That's
Yeah,
what you
I'll do
do.
There you go.
That's what
I
DC
agree.
Sports is
I
about.
agree.
It's about the Washington Redskins.
I
I'm trying to
agree.
say, can say hell to the Capitol. I don't know.
You can do something
I would
like
just
that.
bring them out. I would just
Something.
bring out the Hogs.
You got to bring out the Hogs, man. Go
Let
get
them
those
drop
guys.
the first puck or
There you
whatever. it-
go.
What do they do in hockey, by the way? Forgive me for being
Ceremonial?
First puck drop.
Yeah, they
or
drop the
whatever
puck.
that is. I would go with that.
But you can't bring Pat Sajak.
No.
Is
Would
he
you
from
like to,
DC?
Would you like to solve the puzzle?
Is he from DC?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I think he lives in Virginia, actually.
Interesting.
But
So not too far.
Ghost made a good call. Wale is from there. He's a pretty prominent, well-known rapper there. But yeah, I mean, but if you wanted to get something that was uniquely DC, you get one of those go-go bands like
True
Rare
that.
Essence, any of those would have been
Absolutely.
fine.
Now let's jump around because
I'd
we
have
got
had a group doing the butt EU.
EU.
There you
yeah.
go, EU.
Oh yeah, that would
EU.
be great. That would be
Doing
great.
the
But-
butt. Hey.
Oh yeah, doing the puck. Yeah. Doing
Oh,
the
my
puck.
God.
Yeah.
All right, now
Ain't nothing wrong.
If you want to hit the puck all night
That was
long.
one of the worst. Oh my God, you guys are terrible.
Come on, man.
That's it.
I couldn't have done it. Go ahead.
or you play that in the background as you have the Hogs
my
come out or
God.
something, man.
Oh
And
my
you had the
God.
girls doing the butt coming out on ice.
Oh my God.
There you go.
Yo,
Hey.
that would have been a show.
There
Yeah.
you go. Now hold on. Let's move it on. and this has there's no easy way to segue this from what Ghost just said, but
we silly.
You're gonna see it. Tennis. Serena Williams withdrew from the French Open.
That's terrible.
Coach V, I'll start with you as the lady on the panel.
Oh, thank you.
What are your thoughts?
I think, well, as you probably all know, she had to withdraw because of a pectoral injury. I was impressed. I loved the outfit that she was wearing.
The cat suit.
Yeah, and her reasoning behind it. And I think, she
made What was the reasoning behind it?
She said she wanted to do it for all the women out there, all the moms out there to show, that have had children, to show like, hey, I did it. She knows, like, she's never come off of saying, like, even though we know she's rich, she can get a nanny, she can get a trainer, and she can get herself snapped back very easily. But she's, pretty much embraced the struggle and say, look, our bodies are not the same afterwards, but don't be afraid to show it, type of thing. So she embraced her, post delivery body, which I think is really cool, really nice. But I think it was very smart of her, and she's a very self-aware player that says, look, she said, I saw it across the cross. She's like, I can't even serve right now, so it's best that I go back to the drawing board.
Well, are you guys aware of what happened during her pregnancy?
Yes.
No. I wasn't. No. Okay.
Yes.
Let me educate you guys, because she had an emergency C-section.
Okay.
Okay. But then it got worse. It said she had to have surgery
because she had a pulmonary embolism.
She had blood clots, and because of she's had conditions with that in the past, they had to go in there in an emergency and take the blood clots out. She was near death.
Wow.
As a result of her giving birth to her daughter.
But she knew that because she
Right.
but because she knew she had dealt with this problem before.
Absolutely.
Like, they were just thinking, she was just like, okay, I'm out of. She told the nurse, I'm out of breath, I can't breathe. So they were thinking one thing, and she was like, no, you need to get a CT scan in here and look for this. Because, and had they not did what she said, yeah, she could have died.
Here's what she said. The next day, okay, let me just read this to you. Despite her obvious strength and good health, the world champion tennis player has a history of blood clots. Clots that form within veins or arteries disrupt the circulatory system and can damage the organs. Smoking, being overweight, and obesity and genetics are all factors that may cause blood clotting. Williams takes blood thinners every day to prevent blood clots from forming. After the C-section, though, she stopped taking them to allow the surgical wound to heal. The next day, off the anticoagulant regimen medication, the 23-time Grand Slam winner began to gasp, but she recovered in her hospital room. Not wanting to worry her visiting mother, Williams stepped into the hall, flagged down a nearby nurse, insisting that she needed an IV with heparin, a blood thinner, and a CT scan to check for clots.
Wow.
The nurse believed medications might have befuddled Williams, Vogue says, but a doctor arrived only to perform an ultrasound and not the CT scan that Williams believed she needed. The ultrasound revealed nothing, and according to Vogue, Williams reiterated, I told you I need a CT scan and heparin drip. Obeying the request for the scan, the medical team found several small blood clots in her lungs and immediately began the medication. Think about that. This woman is friggin' amazing.
Yep.
She's sitting there in bed and said, look, you guys need to get on board. Give me a CT scan. Get me heparin stat, because I know my body better than you.
Now, let me say this.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Let that be a lesson to you folks. Don't let doctors tell you everything. Don't think that doctors know everything. Know your body better. And if you feel something, say, look, it ain't right. You need to do more.
Let me say this, though, and I'm going to be fair.
I hope they listen to you.
Who she is had a lot to do with it.
Absolutely.
If the average person would have said that, they might not have.
Well,
if it wasn't Serena Williams,
I'll tell you this.
It might not have.
If you have certain conditions and you're aware of your body, I know someone that had a foot issue. They went to a doctor. They said, oh, you have something wrong with your foot? She said, yeah, I have a blah, 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 blah. The doctor looked at her like, what? How do you know that? She's like, I know my body. He was like, oh, most people don't know that. So see, my thing is, you got to ask doctors questions.
You have to be educated. The same thing happened with my dad. The same thing, not blood clots, but my dad was in pain. He was in pain. Like, my dad is a curmudgeon to begin with. But I was like, this.
How old's your father?
He's, God bless him, he'll be 83.
Oh, God bless him. Yes.
Yeah. So, and I was like, but this was curmudgeon-y on a different level. So I said, you know what? Let's go to he had been going to I said, you know what, Dad, I'm going to go with you to the doctor. I said, all right. So, and the doctors, to their credit, they deal with pain and everything. And so I listened to the guy, talk to my dad, and then finally I said, well, I said, he needs to have another MRI. And he's like, what? And I was like, no. Because I sat back there and I didn't say anything. All of a sudden I stepped out. I said, no, he needs to have an MRI because he's still having pain. And then the doctor was like, well, where's all this? I said, no, hostility. My father needs one. And he said, well, he had one in 2010. I said, yeah, 2010.
Right.
He needs another one. So long story short, he had another one. And the doctor was saying, oh, yeah, there's been some more because he has spinal stenosis. So, and I was like, you know, we need to talk about surgery. I understand he's older and I don't know exactly what everything. And I said, well, there's some other, and I started talking about some other procedures that I said, will these be better for him? And they said, no, we'll have to do this. But the fact is like, had I not insisted that we get another MRI and take it to the next level, they just would have been content to give him some, you know, pain medicine. I'm like, no, that doesn't work for him.
Absolutely.
So you have to stand up.
You got to push a little bit, especially in the hospital.
And my mom has all her faculties, and like, listen, she's smart, she's on point. But I think when people get a certain age, and I think there's even some, when I say racial thing, I'm not saying racist, but because you may see somebody as in a certain race, you may think certain things.
You make certain assumptions
about them. Certain things may get unsaid and undone. And there is research that shows that African Americans are less likely to get the care that they need because of biases, you know, prejudices brought by the doctors. And doctors have even came out and said themselves, like, I need to not be this way, because if I am, it could cost my patient.
And, you know, that's a great point, because one of the things they talked about was the mortality rate of black women during pregnancy. And had she not been Serena Williams, would that have gone a different direction?
Possibly. But I say all that to say this, and in due respect to what you just shared with us, Coach V, misdiagnosis is part of the game.
It is.
You can't go in knowing everything as well. It's a fine balance you have to skate.
Well, that's why they call it the practice of that.
Exactly. Now, let me say this.
It's a practice. That nobody knows.
That's why it's fair to me to get second opinions. It's not insulting the doctor, but it's saying, okay, I have no problem with it. No problem. I was diagnosed. I didn't go to a doctor. I went to one morning I woke up, my foot was it was disastrous. I just couldn't walk. I forced myself to go to work. It was like a cramp was in the top of my foot, would not go away. So I ended up going to the doctor. At this time, it was just like MedEmerge. I know like, MedEmerge is a practice, whatever, but I had to go there. And the guy said, well, it looks like you have gout.
Oh, wow.
So I said, oh, wow. I said, gout. I said,
you know what they call that, right?
What's that?
That's a rich man's disease.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
From eating rich foods.
I don't know. So
no, that's what my father has gout.
So here's the funny thing. So I'm saying me gout. I'm saying that. So I look up the information and everything, and you know, I'm like, okay, cool. I got gout. He gives me a diagnosis of what to eat. All these juices.
Drink more water. Yeah.
A lot of waters. Cut down certain foods.
Yep.
I did all that. Pain never subsided. It was hard. I had to call out of work. I pretty much was
that
like,
pain is pretty bad, isn't it?
I couldn't do it. It was a picture having a cramp.
Yeah.
At the top of your foot that's never goes away. You can't walk. You can't put pressure on
it.
So finally, PM has said, babe, why don't you go to your doctor? Now, my doctor is a cardiologist because I have high blood pressure. So I've been going to a cardiologist as my main doctor all the time.
Okay.
He then looked at my foot and he said, where does it hurt? Because at this point, it's purple up at the top. And it's swollen. Matter of fact, my fault, me being ignorant, I still had tickets to go see the Steelers. I went to Pittsburgh. I'm in a wheelchair.
This guy.
I got pictures of it and everything.
Like, seriously?
I'm
in a wheelchair?
I'm not playing. I'm not playing. I was like, yo, I'm going to go see this game no matter what. So when I get back, my doctor then says, you have cellulitis.
Oh.
And basically,
that's not good.
What cellulitis basically is, it's an infection.
It's an infection.
And if you don't catch
serious
it,
infection.
And if you don't catch it,
you got to.
It could kill you.
Listen, it was in my foot, and he gave me the proper medicines and everything. In like a day and a half, it was gone. So my point was, you know, I agree. You can't go about it being naive. Had I could have just been like, well, I still got gout. Let me keep doing this and keep doing that. But at the same token, you got to be able to explore. So you do got to know your body. But it's a tough call. That's why doctors, let's be fair. With people suing so much over every little thing, You got to practice. You just started. Your record is good 90% of the time, but you get that one mistake that could have cost someone a foot, could cost someone a toe, can cost a life, dare I say it.
Yep.
That one suit may change you probably.
Their room for error is not the same.
And there's no easy way to segue into this. Go
ahead.
But we'll talk a little NFL. The great Dwight Clark passed away from ALS.
Yeah,
he was drafted in the 10th round. He's most known for the catch. Ghost, I'm sure you remember the catch as a Cowboys fan.
I don't remember.
You don't remember?
No.
You must have blocked that from your memory because it was traumatic. I can remember that game.
I don't even know who caught it.
I watched that game, and I know how it ends. And as a sports fan, I still keep saying, Everson Walls, play back, throw your hands up. It's going over your head. And it never changes, obviously.
Throw your hands up like just don't care.
Listen. My mantra is Mr. Keep It Real.
Yes.
So I have to say this.
Headshot.
First time back in a long time.
Do it.
God rest his soul. No one wants to see someone pass away.
Right.
No. But that play, I'm going to be fair. It's one of the most Ghost, thank you. I got to keep it real.
It really wasn't that great.
They make that catch seem like he jumped to the moon. No, he didn't.
He's 6'5". He didn't really have to jump.
He didn't. It
Everson
was
Walls is about 6 feet. So
Montana wasn't looking for him. Montana threw it
game.
up, and he caught it.
Hail Mary, full of grace.
There was no skill involved. Now, I'm not knocking it. It's a great
But
play.
with pressure on, 58 seconds left.
Listen.
I mean, they made a play. We always talk about football
what down
making
was
plays.
that?
I don't know what down it was.
Can we look that up? Was that
58
third?
seconds.
Because even if, let's say if he was incomplete. Now, if
it was
that's
a
fourth down.
It was a 6-yard touchdown pass. Got the Niners 28-27.
I never understood.
It's a signature, but everybody knows the catch.
It is, but my point is,
and it's mostly not because of the play, but because of the dramatic way it went down.
And that was the 49ers' first
third and three.
Come on. If he would have dropped that pass, they still would have had a shot to win the game.
It had fourth down.
Come on, man. And it was what was it? Third? I'm sorry,
third and 3. They were down by.
And what yard line was they on?
They were
third
on
and
6
3.
yard.
Oh,
6 yard.
Yeah, 6 yard.
Come on. If he drops that pass, Montana probably throws another pass. Who's the runner to Freddie Solomon in the corner at that time? Or it could have been. I think the significance of that was the fact it was
San Francisco. Right, it was the changing of the guard.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was it.
Now, if you recall a few years back, you remember the Ice Bucket Challenge?
Oh, yeah.
That was started by a gentleman named Pete Frates, and that was to support ALS.
Terrible
and that's
disease.
what Dwight Clark passed away from. Now, there are some evidence that ALS could possibly be connected to repeated
football
head trauma.
Interesting.
And I heard this today on Dan Le Batard. They call it Lou Gehrig's disease, and Lou Gehrig was a baseball player,
right?
But he suffered multiple significant head traumas.
Interesting.
And that
so there is a connection.
That kind of shows you how naive I was, because, like I said, Lou Gehrig's ALS. I always thought, this is a baseball thing,
right? Everybody thinks it's a baseball,
but
disease.
It's not.
And the thing about it is, I listened to this podcast called Revisionist History, and it's the second episode. Have you listened to that? There's one that came out, the one I sent you, Chill.
Yes, that's the one
called Burden of Proof, right?
Phenomenal.
Right? Tell me about it. It is absolutely amazing, because the question is, how much proof do we need before we say, okay, something's going on here? Everybody says, we talk about CTE in football, and they say, well, of course the owners want to say, well, there's no definitive proof. We don't have any scientific evidence. But number one, you find it in multiple brains from multiple football players. And like he said in the podcast, you have two guys from the same school that both killed themselves, both football players, but didn't suffer from any other problems, but all of a sudden killed themselves. How much proof do you need? I'm going to tell you right now, as a parent, I'm not letting my children play football.
I'm going to jump in on this too.
Not unless they really, and when you look at the Eric LeGrand situation with paralysis.
Absolutely.
You look at Ryan Shazier, to bring it to home, to have it hit home for you as a Steeler fan. It's a dangerous, dangerous game.
Listen. And, what's his name? Zach Miller. Is that the guy from the Bears that had the traumatic leg?
He broke his leg.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh, yeah.
Luckily, the Bears...
He may keep his leg, but he may never play football again,
but the Bears, because they were talking about today on Spain and Fitz, how the Bears just gave him a fully guaranteed contract for $458,000, which could go up to like $798 if he's able to get back on the field. But yeah, that lose your leg. I mean, that's not nothing to sneeze at.
It's ironic that we're talking about this because the past week, I'm gonna tell you something. In my research, and I say this on the Cypher show all the time, during the day when I'm on my Clark Kent, I don't listen to radio no more, actually. I pretty much put it on YouTube, listen to interviews and clips of things that I haven't seen. And, I did send you one, Ghost. I don't think I sent you one.
Oh, my gosh, that was horrible, man.
The Vice Sports.
Vice Sports did a great job
is tremendous. There's a whole segment. If you click on the one,
I watched every one of them.
And I'm going to tell you something. These are players that play at a high level. There was one with I'm sorry,
Keith McCants,
Marcellus Wiley. Caller from the 732. State your name, where you're calling from.
That's our guest.
Oh, so guest.
Oh, dog, it's Gerard. What's going on?
The great Gerard Hector, writer from BET, Black Sports Online. He's all over the place. You know, he's a regular family member. Welcome back, Gerard. How you doing, man?
I'm good. How y'all doing?
We're doing well.
Great.
We're just going to hold off. We're talking a little bit about football. We'll jump into the basketball in just a second. Go ahead, Chill. Finish your thought.
Basically, I just want to say that I didn't know how I felt. I was somewhere in the middle. As a fan, you don't see these things. And then for these players, and once again, these aren't low-level players.
Right.
Wiley was a great player. It was a good defensive end. To see these players in the way that the owners the teams treat them, like you're the ish.
Yes.
While you're out there playing and you're winning and you're doing everything, but when you're hurt, hey, listen, we gotta hurry up and get you out here.
Right.
I gotta take these pills. Giving them envelopes without even, as Marcellus Wiley said, he would get something that didn't have when you go get a prescription, you generally have all of the side effects and everything on the bottle, so forth, so on with the papers. They said the doctor's just come here, take this, will make you feel better. And he didn't realize that was affecting his kidney. Years later, he's at ESPN.
I was listening to the radio that day when his body locked up.
Incredible.
And he could not get out of his car.
Yes.
He was calling Max Kellerman, who was on the air. I was listening to that show that day, and they had to get him. His kidney failed
due to some of the drugs. I forgot the name of the drug.
Toradol
that he was taking when he was hurt, and they just kept giving it to him without giving him no side effects. Now, here's the thing: a lot of those players said they still love the sport, but you got to figure out a way to make these things work.
What you taking?
But here's the thing. Because now, Ghost,
hold on, Ghost. I'm not giving nobody.
Hold on, Ghost.
You grown person. You
hold on.
I'll give you a pill and take it. You in question. What is this?
I'm gonna tell you what he said to answer your question. Marcellus Wiley said he trusted the doctors, and that's what we just talked about. Ask the doctors questions. Ask them then there's the side.
Trusting the doctor got a team's best interest.
But see, that's the thing, Ghost. Then there's that part of the game where they say, look, if you don't play, you don't get paid. They start thinking about cutting you. The pressure's on the players, and the players want to play.
I'm not saying yes, you're gonna take it, but at least you should don't come back later on and say I didn't know what I was taking.
You got to watch it, Ghost.
You ask your questions.
Because that's what my
that series is incredible.
But that's what Mike Golick Jr. Not Jr. but Mike Golick Sr. was talking about. He was saying that when he talked about how he took steroids, not to get better, but because he wanted to recover.
Yes.
And he was saying that they would bring you in when he was in Miami. They would bring you in, or anything. They would bring you in, and they would say, "Here, sign this.
Here's your new contract.
Sign this." And if you signed it, that was basically saying that you were healthy and you were good to go. Then okay, but if you didn't, then it was like, okay, now that's where you get your stuff and you leave.
I encourage everybody, especially you, Ghost, because I know what you're saying, but you got to watch these players talk. And it's only about 5 minutes.
You got to get back out there and play, and you want to go out there and play, but still know what you put in your body.
The longest one is 8
minutes. This is a double-edged sword, though, kind of, right, guys? I mean, this idea of these players trade on their bodies.
Yes,
that is how they earn a living.
Yes.
So, and more oftentimes than not, they're going to do whatever is necessary to get out there so they can play and earn that money.
True.
They don't have guaranteed contracts with the NBA or baseball or what have you. And, you understand why, because of the way in which these players are hurt and the way the owners sort of control that and the way it's collectively bargained, that's problematic. I don't know anyone who, in their right mind, if they had a choice, would try not to play football. I know I wouldn't. I know I wouldn't have any of my kids do it if I had kids. That's just not something I would promote. But if you're going to do it, you again are taking your life into your own hands, 100%, and you've got to know that.
Now, to that point, you that's a perfect segue because you have a college player by the name of Oklahoma. His name is Kyler. Let me get his name for you. He's an Oklahoma quarterback. He was just drafted by the Oakland Athletics. He drafted number 9.
$4.2 million.
With a guaranteed $4.7 million contract. Kyler Murray is his name, and he says he wants to play football and go for the starting quarterback position at the Oklahoma Sooners in 2018. He's a 2-star athlete.
Somebody need to talk to that young man.
Exactly.
I'm telling you right now.
Absolutely.
I get the idea of being a starting quarterback at Oklahoma and all the goodies that's going to bring with you, if you know what I'm saying.
Yes, sir.
But guess what? You know what's also going to bring you goodies? $4.75 million.
Absolutely.
So forget that football, take your baseball money, and keep it moving.
But did you hear what the guy from Florida State did? He's also a 2-star athlete. He got picked 17th overall in the draft. So, and it was a chance of playing football at the collegiate level or signing that contract. And he released a statement saying after careful consideration with people close to me and my family, I have decided to take the opportunity to play professional baseball.
Now, here's the crazy thing. The NCAA rules allow athletes to play professional baseball while maintaining their amateur status in another sport.
Interesting.
So he'd remain an amateur, which is crazy, which is absolutely ludicrous. He can get paid for baseball.
We can do an entire 5-hour show on the fallacy of the NCAA and what is amateurism and what is not.
Gerard, we may have to do that. Because now, they suspended Des Bryant when he was at Oklahoma State for going to a picnic with Deion Sanders where an agent was present.
Incredible.
But this guy can go out and make $4.7 million and still be considered an amateur.
Different sport.
Well, and you know the rules about Olympic sports, right? Like if you earn medals for swimming or wrestling or whatever, and you get paid out for winning a gold medal or a silver medal or whatever, you get to keep all that money.
Absolutely.
Yep. Sure.
Hold on 1 second, Gerard. We got another caller. Caller from the 313. State your name. Where you calling from? Caller from the 313.
313.
Murph. Oh, boy. Idiots. All right, anyway.
Actually, I was kind of listening to that one.
Go ahead. All right, Gerard, we brought you in here. You're a basketball expert.
Interesting. Yes.
Let's talk to me about Game 2 and what happened.
I mean, what happened in Game 2 is, listen, the Cavs are who they have been all season, right? The one constant on the Cavs that there are a couple of constants. The one positive constant is LeBron James, right? We always know what we're getting from him, which is stellar play. Get a triple-double, did his thing, the whole 9. The other constant you're going to get from them is porous defense. They have been a terrible defensive team all season long. They're not going to magically all of a sudden come playoff time get better and start locking teams down. You are who you are, right? The regular season exists for a reason. That 82-game sample tells me all I need to know about what you are. Can some teams turn it up? Maybe. Not the Cavaliers. And that
Wait a minute, Gerard. I got to cut you off. I'm sorry to cut you off. But were you saying that in Game 1 when they were a bucket away? Oh, did I cut them off?
Yeah, we had to do that.
All right.
You really cut
7-1-8.
Yeah, I did cut. Watch that court. Gerard, you in? Hold on. What did I do? Hold on. How do you get that group call? I just hit the number. I didn't add the group call. All right, call us back. Sorry about that. Chill just cut everybody off. I wonder if Gerard was saying that when the
here we go.
There we go. Sorry about that, Gerard. You got cut off. Were you saying that in Game 1?
Gerard?
Yeah. I can hear you now.
Sorry about that. Were you saying that in Game 1 when they were a block charge call? Pull that one out. Add to group call. Hold on. Let me get Murph in here. Ghost, you picked it wrong.
That's good.
Hold on. Accept. Okay. All right. There we go. Murph, you in?
This is live, people. This is what happens sometimes when you go live.
This is live radio. Murph, you live?
I'm here.
All right. We got the basketball experts, the great Jamal Murphy, the great Gerard Hector. You know, my co-hosts.
What's good, Murph?
And compadres from
What up?
Bros Pod with the great Bill Roden. All right, let's talk.
All right, let's do it.
Were you saying that, Gerard, when they were a block charge and a free throw and or a rebound away, because you just said they can't rise up. They were right there in game one. What were you saying after game one?
We talked about that already, right? Like all those things, the block charge didn't cause them to lose the game. They still had plenty of opportunities to win. They couldn't pull it out when it counted because, again, this is who the Cavaliers always are and who they have been, particularly the non-LeBron James Cavaliers, right? And we've seen that all year. J.R. Smith, George Hill, Tristan Thompson, Kevin Love, right? Those guys are up and down. They are not consistent. And when you are trying to beat possibly the greatest assembled collection of talent, at least in the top 4 guys on the Warriors, you have to be excellent when you execute down the stretch. And they are far from that. And LeBron has to do it by himself. And guess what? 1-on-4, really hard to do.
Murph, what happened in game 2? Talk to me.
Game 2, Golden State came to play, to me, for the first time since the Houston game 1. They came focused, no playing around. Their laps didn't have long lapses. They kept the turnovers under control, and they took care of business. And to me, that's a bad sign for game 3 because it looks like Golden State might actually be serious about winning a championship right now.
Now, wait a minute. You said this is the first time that you've seen it since game 1. So that implies that 6 games in a row, even 7 games if you include game 1, they haven't. What leads you to believe that all of a sudden in one game they've turned it around from what you just said you haven't seen since game 1 with Houston?
Well, that's the point. I mean, you're right. It could be a situation where, like, game 1, they came to play, then they take their foot off the brake. But I'm looking at it like, okay, they had a tough 6-game series or 7-game series with Houston, where they didn't always bring it 100% every game, and it almost cost them. And I think they learned their lesson from that series. Game 1 is a filling out game against Cleveland. Then game 2 on the road, game 2 in the series, the same situation against Houston, they took their foot off the brake. They did not do that here. They actually turned it up a level. So game 3, to me, it means to me that Golden State is focused. They know they're only, at the time, 3 games away from a championship. Their 2nd straight championship in a row, their 3rd and 4th years. Just puts them in the history books for good. I think they're focused right now.
All right, so this is Chill, Mr. Keep It Real. Gerard, I'm going to direct this actually to both of you guys, Murph and Gerard. Let me ask you this. Okay, we get it. Golden State at their peak is probably unbeatable. Mm-hmm. Best case scenario, what is the best opportunity and the best thing, and what is the best thing Cleveland can do to win this series? Or to win a few games to make it competitive?
It got to hurt somebody.
I mean,
otherwise it's not going to be competitive.
Call an exorcist, get some religious stuff going, some incense, all kinds of manner of supernatural activity.
Voodoo?
Because
little Santeria?
And they kind of have that with LeBron James in a weird way, right? So yeah. LeBron's going to have to go nuts, right? And one of those other Cavs has to play competent basketball. Whether that is
I think it has to be 2.
Maybe 2. You're right.
Let me throw something in there.
And they got to hope that there's a game that, the Warriors are disengaged, as Murph said. Because, look, here's the thing about the Warriors. Steph Curry got all the headlines last game because he hit 9 threes, and that's dead on, and he was. But when the Warriors are impossible to beat is when Kevin Durant is engaged on both ends. And he was fully engaged in game 2. Played excellent defense. Was great on rebounding, was so efficient. 10 of 14, 26 points, 9 boards, 7 assists. 2 blocks, he came to play. When he's doing that and he's locked in on both ends, they are a nightmare.
But again, Gerard, I'm going to ask you this because we discussed this on the Bros Pod. Check us out on SoundCloud, iTunes, wherever you find your podcast. But why do we think after only one game that all of a sudden the Warriors have turned it around as they go into Cleveland? Why? What makes – because we haven't seen it.
Because you know what? They can play like they played in game 1 and still win.
There you go. That's what they can do.
Come on. We have J.R. Smith bonehead move away from them losing.
Well, there's no guarantee.
But they can still play like they played in game 1 and still win.
But here's the thing, too, about Golden State, which I always say. You can get an off night. To tell you the truth, that's, to me, remember a couple years Duke when they played. Duke was always hitting threes. The way you beat a team that always hit threes, you get an off night. What's the night? Curry's not gonna hit 9 threes every game. Now that being said, if I'm Cleveland, you know what? I'm inserting a little bit of different things in there. I'm taking JR out. I'm putting what's the guy they got in the trade in? Maybe he can catch fire.
Rodney Hood.
You got to let him play for 5 minutes or something. Let Nance get in there.
It don't matter who they play.
You got to give something a shot. Maybe these guys will defend something. You got to change something because right now Kevin Love is a defensive liability. Defensive liability.
But here's the thing
Who
about
you gonna put out there that's going to slow any of the.
But here's the thing about
he needs his offense though.
Agreed.
Right. Here's the thing. Hold on.
Go ahead.
In game 1, Durant had 26, Curry had 29, Thompson had 24, and Green had 13.
LeBron had 50.
And they didn't play well. And they didn't even play well.
But they were only a bucket. They were 2 plays. Cavs were 2 plays away from winning this thing.
And they were 1 shot away from winning in regular time too. So
here's my thing. LeBron had 51.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
8.
I agree.
And Golden State didn't play any defense that game. They didn't play defense like they came out in game 2 and played defense. That's the key.
So one game has changed it all for you guys.
To play, that includes the defense.
That didn't change anything. They still gonna win.
So to me, the only way Cleveland has a chance is if Golden State doesn't show up. And if I were Cleveland, if I were Lou, I would just start talking like you think the series is over. Do anything you can to make them not show up. Act like there's no way you think you could win. Whatever. Some reverse psychology, I don't care. Because if it comes to play, it's a wrap.
And I do agree with that because if they're all hot, you can forget it. And game 2 is a pure example of that.
You get blown out.
I don't care who you are. But my point is, listen, I'm not foolish. Golden State will win this series probably, unless, like Go says, a major injury. If Curry or Durant hurts their ankles, I'm not wishing that on them, but something like that happens, it's different. But just looking at Cleveland right now, I do agree that defensive intensity is not where it was. JR is out of it. First thing, I got to get him out the game. Whatever you want to say, it shows me mentally he's not hitting open threes. I'm putting somebody else in there. And if Rodney Hood doesn't get it happening, then okay, you may go back. But you got to do something if you're Tyronn Lue to change the format.
You know what I'm doing? You know what I'm doing if I'm Tyronn Lue, and I agree with you. Get Kevin Love working more on the post-up game, but have him do it on the side where Kyle Korver is, because they can't double off of Korver because he can shoot the 3 so well, right?
Yes.
Run a couple plays on that end just to get him going, and on that side of the court specifically. Something. And look, as you said, Rodney Hood may have to get 5 minutes to burn. I don't know what he's going to do in those 5 minutes, but hopefully it's better than whatever Jordan Clarkson's been giving him.
Let me ask you guys this. Early in the show, I asked Ghost, I asked Coach V, and I gave my opinion. The starting lineup last game 2 was Draymond Green, Kevin Durant, JaVale McGee, Steph Curry, and Klay Thompson. Gerard, I'll start with you. If you started in the place of JaVale McGee, how many points would you have, and would the Warriors beat the Cavs in Cleveland?
Man, I am 5'0" at Hunter and Gustin. I don't even know, but those guys are so good. I could probably get a couple passes off. We win by 5.
Murph, you starting in place of McGee. How many points do you have, and do the Warriors still win Game 3?
I ain't doing nothing out there at this point in my career. You know what I'm saying? I might get like a 2 assists or something at the most.
Wait a minute, Murph. You playing with
credit.
3 of the greatest shooters.
Long, athletic. He can actually play when he's not doing retarded stuff. Excuse my language. People are very sensitive.
When he's not Shaq in the pool.
When he's not Shaq in the pool, he's actually decent, but he's capable of Shaq in the pool, like we saw in Game 1 with that missed dunk, which was one of the worst.
He got stuffed by the rim.
Listen, man. McGee is going to be a non-factor in this next game. I think he was at home. It was brilliant by Kerr to put him in. If it was me, they would pull me out because I'd be turning the ball over. I'd be basket hanging. And I don't care. Golden State would be too angry at me because I wouldn't even jog all the way down. They'd say, get this guy out again because he's doing nothing.
And like I said,
go tell what you said.
I'm getting 1 point, and Golden State still winning by 15.
Wow. I said the same thing. I said I'm going to have 4 points, but I'm going to have about 12 to 15 assists, and they'll win by
12
8.
to 15.
Yeah, all I gotta do is pass it to Curry or Durant or Thompson.
Yeah, right. But you gotta be playing in the paint. Because you got to remember whose place you said you
No. We changed
Where you going to be at?
Draymond Green's going to play the 5. Durant's going to play the 4. I'm going to play the 1.
You got to at least have to hit a 3.
And I'm going to get 4 points. I'm going to get to the rim.
Oh, dog.
I'm going to get to the rim, and I'm going to get fouled.
You know what I'm going to say? I think the problem for all of us isn't going to be on the offensive end, right? Because we all liken ourselves to be good offensive players. On defense is where we're all going to be yelling, help, help, help.
Listen.
Nah, they're going to love me on defense.
At this point, I can guard J.R. Smith. I can guard Jordan Clarkson. Because those guys aren't doing anything.
No, you can't.
I don't have to do much. They're missing shots.
Listen, JR will eat you alive.
JR can't do nothing.
They will light you up.
He ain't doing nothing.
They are professionals.
I don't give a damn. He ain't done nothing.
JR would drop 50 on you.
I just stand there with my hands up. I don't care. I'm playing face-up chest. I'm facing chest defense.
JR can go to the Rucker and have a good game, bro. I'm telling you.
Well, how come he can't have a good game when it counts?
I can't call it.
Put you on him.
Gentlemen, let me
have a great game.
Let me ask this.
Let's JR.
Yeah, okay.
Let's go beyond this. Here's the more probable and important question that I'm going to ask, and for our guests, Gerard and Murph, give me your opinion on this. I know it's crazy, but I want to know this. Where is LeBron going next year? Because is he going? In your opinion, is he going to stay in Cleveland, or does he go somewhere because he realizes I can't beat this team unless I get probable superstar help? Where and give me your best guess right now.
You can go first.
Yeah, I'll go first. I mean, it's tough. I've said on the record a few times. I don't think he's going to be back in Cleveland. It just seems like time is up there. I've heard like a guy like Windhorst, who I believe knows LeBron pretty well. He said he wasn't going to Houston. That was my initial thought. He might end up in Houston because that would give him the best chance. But the thought is he's not going to go to the West. So I'm gonna say Philly. I'm gonna say he goes to Philly because they have the pieces, and he goes there and ruins Ben Simmons' career.
Gerard, who you got? Where you got LeBron next year?
It's interesting, Murph. I'm gonna have to agree with him on that one, but I'll say this: I agree. I don't think he's going out west because he doesn't want to play the Warriors before the finals, right? I think he wants to meet them in the ultimate round. Philly makes sense for a number of reasons because of all the clutch connections, but I'm going to throw in LA as a wild card only because he can actually shape that entire team to what he wants, and Magic and Rob are the kind of guys who might let him just do that, right? So I think there's some options there. And the other thing that makes Philly back in the East attractive is that when they fire Brian Colangelo, which they will do, Griff is probably going to be number one on that GM search list. And we know Bron and Griff have a great relationship going back to Cleveland, so that's a strong possibility. But I agree with Murph. If he goes to Philly, that's going to ruin Ben Simmons' career because Ben Simmons... No, it will, because the problem is when you play with LeBron, he needs people who can shoot. Well, Ben doesn't even try to shoot. So I don't know. And they're kind of, not saying that Ben's as good as LeBron, but they're kind of duplicates of each other. So I don't know what Ben's going to do.
I've always said that, and I'm going to be fair about it. Now, you guys got to explain this to me. Even if L.A. picks up Paul George, I don't see the fascination with L.A. immediately with him going there, because to me, he's still being the same kind of boat.
What?
I think
LA got some young talent. You put LeBron on there with Paul George, there'll be a problem.
Now let me throw this out here.
Here's the thing about the young talent. The young talent isn't necessarily there to stay. The young talent is there to be moved out to get other stuff in, right? Because LeBron ain't going to want to hang with these young dudes. At least not all of them. So it's not going to be Lonzo and Julius and Ingram. It ain't going to be the three of them. Two of those three are definitely
out. Lonzo got to go.
Well, let me throw something out there. Something that I just happened to hear. They still got a high draft pick, Cleveland, right?
Yeah, like number 4.
Number 8.
Yeah.
Number 8.
What if you trade that to get Kawhi in Cleveland?
What makes you
San Antonio wants more than that? Yes, you can 8 and more than that.
I was going to say, what makes you think San Antonio is going to do that?
But you don't think. But let's say Cleveland. I don't know. Maybe you give them sweet pie. You need one more piece with that number one.
You have no trade pieces.
What if you need more than one more piece? Because Kawhi, when healthy, is a top 3 player in this league. So a number 8 pick ain't gonna cut it. And there's nothing else on that squad that I want.
Now he's coming off an injury.
Who do I want? I don't want Jordan
injury.
Clarkson. I don't want Larry Nance.
Now, San Antonio's not stupid. Like they're gonna ask for the whole house. You know, if you're gonna try to get Kawhi, they're gonna be willing to work it out with him. He's under contract. They don't have to do anything.
Okay.
So unless they get something, a perfect deal for them, they're not getting rid of.
You know what they should do?
What's that?
They should. Cleveland should call Boston and do a Kyrie for LeBron trade.
If he went, I heard Walker, Antoine Walker did say he brought up the fact. He said, "Wow, if he went to Boston, that would be perfect for him because that team is fit for his skill set." But I agree with you guys. You bring up a great point. Everybody's swearing Philly is great. Somebody's going to be hurting Philly. Ben Simmons, like you said, I do agree with you. Ben Simmons is a terrible shooting LeBron James. Let's be fair about it.
Right.
So you can get rid of Ben Simmons.
That's what I would do.
Hold on, I do not see LeBron James in Boston. I do not see how that is a fit.
If you got rid of Kyrie and you put LeBron there with that young talent ripping and running,
it's still okay. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why it's not a fit, because when LeBron comes to your team, you have to sacrifice so much of your game, and not saying that you sacrifice your game in a good way, but it's almost like in a bad way, because he is ball dominant. Everything has to run through him, and even though he'll get ahead of steam, drive, and then kick, but the ball is drived and kicked to the corner or to somebody else, but it's not a motion to where the ball will necessarily go to the other side to create that mismatch. So that's why I do not think, because of how Boston plays, that is not a match for him.
Speaking of,
Boston has Jesus as a coach.
Speaking of sacrificing your game or playing with LeBron, did you guys hear what J.R. Smith said?
Oh yeah, but
there is pressure.
Yeah. No, they asked him. He said, playing with Bron is hard. He's like, it's a privilege, but he gets the privilege of playing with me too.
He was joking with that.
but listen, was he? Hold on, was he?
Nah,
no,
I love JR.
But take that statement for what it's worth. It's true. When you're playing with a superstar,
You have to make sacrifices.
whoever it is,
Michael,
Magic,
Kobe,
whoever, there is a pressure. There is a pressure.
Yes. No question. No question. It is difficult.
All right, guys, before we get out of here, Gerard, let us know. First of all, let me ask you this. Murph, you still standing by your sweep pick?
Yeah. I'm going sweep. I give Cleveland a chance, more a chance for the gentleman's sweep if Golden State. I think Golden State comes out, ready to go tomorrow. They take care of business, basically end the series tomorrow. Then you never know. Cleveland could get a garbage game for a W. But yeah, I'm sticking with that sweep.
Gerard, who do you have tomorrow night, and who do you have in the series?
Sticking by my prediction, I said Golden State in 5. They want to clinch it at home, so they will actually win Game 3, lose Game 4, and close it out at home in Game 5.
All right, tell the people where they can find you, Gerard.
They can find me at Black Sports Online, BT.com, and 7 Footers Podcast.
And Murph, where can the people find you?
Bros Pod, Bill Roden on Sports on iTunes, SoundCloud, and wherever else. And CBSLocal.com, CBS Local Sports, at least twice a month there. So check me out.
All right, we appreciate you guys as always. You're part of the family.
Thank you.
Part of the BKS1 family, part of the In the Game family. And as always, thank you for your time, gentlemen. I'll see you tomorrow, Murph.
All right.
All right, have a good
Thanks,
night.
Rod. Have a good night.
Guys.
Yep, take it easy.
All right.
It's interesting. What's so funny to me about this series, this is hilarious to me. I was talking to a buddy of mine, and we was talking about the evolution of the Golden State Warriors. How, in my mind, I'm sorry to say it, they went from one of the most loved teams a few years ago when Mark Jackson was there to right now. There's so many people pulling for LeBron. And think about this. Think about with LeBron, when he went to Miami, was the most hated. And now everyone in America is rooting for him.
Chill, we talked about
when
this.
Durant went there.
We talked about this a little bit earlier. I asked the question, is Steph Curry cocky or confident? And how do you feel?
Both.
You think he's
in
both?
My mind, he's both. He's very. He reminds me of Brady in that he's sneaky, arrogant. Like, we don't know what he's saying under his breath after he makes those shots, after he does the jiggle. But he's giving them the business.
I'm going to tell you, Brady talks regardless. Golden State Warriors only talk when they're winning.
And they're front runners. So you saying they're front runners?
Yes.
I think Green is a front runner, definitely.
I think Green is the most
Green,
real of all.
I think Green is the same way he's always
been. He's going to talk junk when he loses. He's going to talk junk.
Look how tough Kevin Durant talk when they win.
Kevin Durant, I find Kevin Durant and Steph Curry both annoying right now.
The most consistent person on that team to me that I like is Klay Thompson. Because he's this way all the way, all the time.
He's the quiet assassin, and that's my favorite player on that team.
Green, he's a front runner to me. I guess you could say. I guess you could say that. You can say that because right now people want Golden State. If LeBron ever pulled this off. Now, by the way, all you LeBron haters out there, if he ever by a miracle of St. Anna's pulled this off, you think you were hearing a lot about him now? Oh my God, you would never hear the rest of it. And by the way, Cleveland. Let me just say this to you, Cleveland, to the city. If he leaves, I don't want to hear nothing. He gave you your championship. You can't say nothing.
You can't say nothing because he took you to the finals 4 years in a row.
No burning.
He gave you a championship. I mean, they're going to be upset that he leaves because, of course, they know what they're going to be going back to. But and they're going to be mad. They're going to burn his jersey. They're going to be upset.
And we haven't been here, and I haven't been here for a while. I just got to get one last thing in. And let me say this. It's been a while. He's home now. He's sitting watching the series. He had a great chance. But listen, James Harden. Tremendous player. Let me just say that up first. But let me say this. As I said to you before, Owen, the last time I was here, he's got to show up. And you know who else should take a lot of heat for that loss, too?
Who?
Harden and the coach.
D'Antoni, absolutely.
That style, you can do it. Now, people will argue, oh, wow, if Chris Paul was there, we would have won that. I don't know that.
I think they had a better chance of winning on
I think they would have won with Chris Paul.
Chris Paul was healthy.
I think they would have won. And let's finish up with this real quick.
Go ahead.
MMA. Jared Brooks, MMA fighter in a UFC fight, picked up a guy who was going to body slam him, Ghost. Winded up knocking himself out.
How?
Because the dude's leg came down on his head. And he knocked himself out. I got to see this. And he lost the fight.
Wow.
I got to see this.
You want to see the video?
Like, where can I see? Is
it
on
was
YouTube?
Absolutely. I'm going to pull it up right now. But it was absolutely insane. He was beating the guy. And then the guy started talking junk on him. Let me see. Here it is.
Now, UFC, like I said, I'm still in and out of it a little bit. But it's still obviously still getting good ratings.
Yeah, it's always going to get good ratings. Everybody loves MMA.
Hold on. It was Jared Brooks against Jose Torres.
Because it's more real and they don't think it's set up like boxing.
And that's something that's scary. But though I got to admit, we got to get Og to call in here maybe next week or something. Because right now the middleweight division is looking real good in professional boxing. It's looking good.
Oh, yeah. They don't have the tape. But I just thought that, MMA can change so quickly. Guy knocks himself out.
It's unbelievable. In boxing right now, the welterweight division, Terrence Crawford, Errol Brook Jr. There's about 5 very, very good welterweights right now. And, of course, you have the Russian guy. I forgot his name. He's a class under, and he's moving up very fast. It's getting good. The heavyweights stink, as usual. I'm sorry I said. No offense to Wilder. I know you coming in and dominating, but the bottom line is in boxing and in any physical one-on-one sport, the competition.
Errol Spence Jr.?
Errol Spence Jr. The competition is what makes the sport great. If you got one person that's just knocking out bums, no one's going to care. But if you get a good 1, 2, 3 ranked competitor that can intertwine. That's what made Ali great. You can go through 1 and 5, and 5 was just as good as the number 2 ranked contender. There was no way to get between it. Look at this. Oh my gosh.
Dude knocked himself out.
That's unbelievable.
You got knocked up.
So yeah, but if the welterweights right now is doing very, very good, man. It's something to watch and something to see. But it's interesting. And the stat tech just pulled. Now he's the bottom guy.
In the black, yeah. Knocked himself out.
And what's hilarious about it is the dude that was getting slammed, he's walking up like, I got you. I did this. He's lucky because if he got in get knocked out,
that's the thing about MMA is that I've watched MMA fights where a guy is winning and 2 seconds later he is knocked out. I watch guys. It can change in the blink of an eye. You think you're winning. It's not like, I mean, it happens like that in boxing. But generally, when boxers get ahead, they know it and they fight defensively. This doesn't allow for defensive fighting. I mean, it allows for it, but in a different way. You still have to maintain some level of aggressiveness.
Now, I will say this about UFC and MMA. I've watched some of them. Sometimes the box can be slow too, because everyone's
absolutely
jabbing me. Look, hold, everything. It's to your liking, whatever you like. You know what I mean? I'm more of a purist, so I always will pick boxing over that. But let me just say one other thing. We were talking about promotion and everything, and then we can get out of here. The thing that I don't like about boxing, in hockey, that's cool. You had the medieval times things in Las Vegas. That's great. NFL, Showtime, halftime rather. You got the Chili's and everything. But in boxing, don't make it like wrestling, man. You got these guys coming out. They rapping by themselves. They all of a sudden they're making storylines up. We got Adrian Broner fighting with Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Isn't that what it's about? It's about the story?
In boxing, you got enough story when you get the promotion of the fight. I don't need any more hoopla soap opera stuff involved. You're getting in the fight against a guy. So you ain't got to tell me, oh, you spoke about my mother. Mike Tyson kind of engaged in that when he did the whole, oh, I'm going to eat your kids and all that stuff. And then later on,
Ali did that all the way back in the
well,
I was talking about,
fair.
I'm so pretty. I'm going to be Sonny Liston going down at 5.
Listen,
he's ugly.
That's fair. That's
it's about
fair.
the showmanship.
But to an extent,
Conor McGregor, Floyd Mayweather.
But even then,
they both talk mad stuff. That's what it's about.
How much did Ali say that in pre-fight? But when he's walking down the ring, was he spitting rhymes when he was going down there? Was it a serious Ali at that point? That's all I'm saying.
Like, time to change.
It's just getting to the point where that's
back in boxing. Nobody came out with artists and singing and rapping. Times to change and become more of a show now.
Absolutely.
And by the way,
who doesn't want 50 to come out with them?
By the way, Cole Beasley can rhyme, man. I listen to Cole Beasley. Cole Beasley is all right, bro. Cole Beasley is, listen, I'm just telling you, he's better than Le'Veon. Le'Veon got a little bit of that trap slowness. But Cole spits it. Cole is like Eminem. That's all I want to say.
Chill, thanks for dropping by.
It's a good deal.
You know, it's Tuesday night. We appreciate your time. Keep it locked here. WBKS1. As we always say, you cannot play the game unless you are in the game. Good night.
Night.
Tomorrow night, live in the Cypher. Ghost?
I'm not sure what we're going to do yet.
Push.
Push it, T.
Cornerstone franchise, live in the Cypher tomorrow night, folks. Keep it locked.
He's got